Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome back once again to the channel. You know, it's JJ with you, JJ's PC Builds. Sorry, I'm a little aggravated today. But if this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Don't forget about the notification bell so you know when I post the next video or live stream. Okay, guys, here's the deal. If you're building a PC in 2026, stop buying these parts. I'm serious. Prices are up, quality is down, and some of these components are straight up traps designed to take your money and leave you with a system that runs worse than it should. So today I'm breaking it down, the parts you absolutely need to avoid this year, and most importantly, why they've become such a problem. So let's first start it off at the action screen and you'll see what I got cooking. Alrighty, we're at the action screen once again. We're going to kick it off with the power supplies. Let's start with the biggest offender right here. The cheapest 80 plus gold power supplies. These things are everywhere right now. Everywhere. Everywhere. See these? These no-name brands, they're everywhere right now. Especially on the marketplace sites like Amazon, Newegg, and so on. And half of them shouldn't even be plugged into the wall. Fake efficiency labels, rebranded OEM garbage, coil whine, unstable voltage, and failure rates that are way higher than they should be. A bad PSU don't just ruin your day, it could take your entire system with it. So if the price looks too good to be true, it is. That definitely is, because this is what you don't want to get trapped into right here. So look for the decent, most best power supplies you can afford. Okay, you got out there, you got Corsair, you got MSI, you got many different brands that have a name on it. If you see ones without a name on it, then you know it's going to have cheap parts in there because that's nothing but a Chinese knockoff. So be very careful when you're buying these parts, especially power supplies, because that's the key component to your system. So let's go ahead and go back to the action screen because we want to see what else is going to be cooking today. All right, now we're going to start off with another one, and you guys are going to love this, and this is next up. The 360 millimeter AIO coolers. I don't know who needs to hear this in 2026, but these things are basically RGB decorations at this point. Modern CPUs run hotter, boost harder, and demand way more cooling than tiny little radiators. Even going to the 240 or the 120, guys, they need more cooling than anything. Even the 65 watt ones, believe it or not, the CPUs. A decent air cooler will outperform these every single time, and usually for half price, you can go with an air cooler. Don't fall for the liquid cooling marketing. It's not helping you. It's definitely not. I mean, if we go through and we look at all the 360s and stuff like that, you're going to see them high priced. I mean, you got this off-name brand one for 79 bucks. Will it work? Trust me, I got one from Thermalright, and believe it or not, it's not what it says it does. It doesn't keep my CPU cool like it's supposed to. See, the Thermalright. I mean, they got the Thermalright Aqua Elite 120 V3. I got the 360 Aqua Elite V3. That's for $34. I paid $55 for that one. If you don't believe me, then what we'll do is we'll take you right to it. So right here. So where that sits right there in its own little corner. Reason why I haven't fixed it yet. It's even got a warranty on it. Does it make it any better? No, it doesn't really. Because what this needs is it needs a really good fixing with how the mounting bracket goes on for the CPU. See, there's a pressure issue between the mounting bracket. One, the spring that's on there is wrong. It's basically useless. Two, they direct suck into each other with no, absorbing spring pressure. So there's just two little things there for you. Okay, now we got that out of the way. Let's kind of move on towards the next little bit. Let's press on. Let's go to the system RAM. DDR4. You're going to love this. Let's talk about the DDR4, especially the 2x8 DDR4 kits. Well, how about the 16 or 2x16s? We'll do that right now. So here's a 2x16. Velocity, 3200 megahertz. Probably CL18 or something like that. But they want $445.56. You got to be kidding me. That's a joke. I mean, it's really a joke. DDR4 is overpriced, guys. Underperforming and only exists to trap budget builders who don't know better. But the way the prices are on DDR5, yes, is cheap, stable. Well, it was cheap, but it's still stable and fast enough to where there's no reason to keep buying outdated memory. But until we're going through this memory crisis, it seems like it's no longer outdated. So if you're trying to upgrade your existing system, guys, if you're trying to upgrade your existing system, I can tell you it's going to be nasty. And even then, 32 gigs is okay for now, but they're trying to bait you into the fact of saying, well, yes, well, we're going back to the action screen. We're on the action screen, so let's go back to the main screen. The thing is this. They're trying to bait you into buying the 16 gig RAM kits. And this is why. Because they sell more of those 16 gig kits than anything. But now these days with the gamings and everything else, I can tell you some of the games I play, they suck up at least minimum of 22 gigabytes of system RAM. So I have to run 32 gigabytes in order to content create and everything else, and that works fine. But 16 gigs just does not work on the market, even if it's DDR4 or DDR5. But the prices are just totally insane right now to where there's what they're selling for system RAM. Okay, now go back to the action screen for a couple seconds. This right here, this is what's right here, what shocks me, is because the Corsair Vengeance DDR4 RAM, 32 gigs, and that's 32 gigs for 260 bucks. I paid $129 for 64 gigs of the same RAM. 64 gigs. Could you imagine 64 gig kit now? It's over 500 bucks. If you times this by 2, that's 500 bucks. That's ridiculous. That is just, I mean, to me, that's just totally ridiculous. I mean, I know some people want to build PCs, but they're thinking, should I go DDR3? Oh, don't. DDR4 right now is your minimal go-to. Going to DDR3 is not going to help you anytime soon. Trust me. Moving on. Here we go. We're going to move on to the next little bit. Back to the action screen. Okay, now we're back on the action screen. We're looking at the SSDs. Another trap. 500 gigabyte SSDs. These have the worst price to per gigabyte, price to performance and price to gigabyte I have ever seen in years. And they are too small for modern games. 500 gigabytes is way too small. So a lot cheaper ones are the ones with that are DRAMless, slow, and run hot under load, those kind. So those are the kind you don't want. If you'll fill them instantly, your system will choke and you will end up upgrading anyway. Just skip straight to the 1 terabyte or the 2 terabyte. It's cheaper in the long run. So when you're looking at these and then you see like the 500 gigabyte, I don't get those. They got I know it's $500 for 4 TB, but that used to be $300 cheaper. I'm waiting for the prices to come down before I decide to buy again. And prices don't, these right here, these right here, these don't last long, especially up to 2,400 megabytes on the read and way less on the writing. So you just look at it and you'll know that you're not going to get a good deal. You're going to get the crappiest deal of it all. You know, I mean, this one right here, you're going to get a crappy deal. So yes, you're best off with the 1 TB SSD, but this one I would not go with because that is a portable SSD and it only allows you to 1050 megabytes. So truthfully, all in all, right now is not time to buy, but I keep telling everybody that and they don't listen to me, you know, so they'll find out sooner or later, you know, what the real deal is. So let's move on. Okay, let's go back to the action screen once again. Now here's the one that really gets me fired up. Refurbished GPUs from the marketplace sellers. This is where the scams are exploding. Fake seals, fake boxes, fake serial numbers, and the GPUs that were mined to death or repaired with parts that should never even be reused. Some of these cards don't even match the model listed. If you're buying a GPU in 2026, stick to the verified resellers or trusted refurbishers. Marketplace roulette is not worth it. So if you go through and you're going to see a bunch of roulette wheels here. So it's like this one right here. It's a 580, $130. I remember when those were just, what, $89? This one right here, a 560, $102. That was $79. I remember all these prices is because I had all the prices locked in my head doing graphics card nightmares every week. And I usually go through all the graphics cards on that show. But I have to think about if I want to bring it back, and I might have to after this point. See, like this, 4 GB, $100. Guys. Let me explain something to you. If you're buying 4 GB graphics card for $100, you need to be shot. Not physically, you know, mentally. Reason is that's 4 GB. Why would you pay that kind of money? That's only a $40 to $50 card. It's not worth paying $100 for it. Now you can see why the GPU roulette wheel keeps spinning in that marketplace. Amazon's not really the one to buy from at that point in time when it comes to PC parts, because they got everything all jacked out of whack. Period. So now let's move on. Let's keep moving on to the budget motherboards with weak VRMs. This is going to be interesting to find that. So you guys wanted to know what I had been thinking about all this little fluff that they put out there. Let's find out. Okay. See, when you go to buy motherboards, right, this is the thing to think about. CPUs this year pull more power than ever. And these cheap motherboards just can't handle it. They thermal throttle, they overheat, and in some cases, they just outright fail. If you're running into a modern CPU that you need a board with real VRM cooling and proper power delivery, save $20 and don't worry about the headaches. What I mean by saving $20 is this. See, if you go into this and you see this eagle right here, right? You go into and you look at C more. I always look at the C more. It's 3200 megahertz. Yeah, it's a B550. Okay. Look and see what the VRM heat sinks are layered with. Okay. This right here is a digital twin 10+3 phase VRMs. 10+3. Okay. I would never, ever, you can use this with a 6-core processor, but when it comes to your 8s, your 10s, your 12, your 8s, well, on AMD side, I would stick to a 12 phase, a 12 plus 2 plus 2. That would be a better thing to go with than to go with this. This is too low. You can't run everything with this, so you're shooting yourself in the foot with that. So, no. That one we just seen. They got a 760. That's DDR4. That's 1700. But used prices, that's 136 bucks. You can find brand new prices lower than this. So that's the whole idea of shopping, to look and see what you want. I mean, if I go here and I'm looking through here, am I going to find a good deal? I mean, what am I going to find? Look at this. Sturdy power design hybrid 4+1+1. I would not even use anything. Not even, I mean, this right here is only good, I think, if it was Intel, like probably 7th generation, using that kind of power phase. But paying this kind of price, that's crap. Paying that kind of price, that's crap. That's companies really, really, really trying to suck you dry. So now you can see what I mean by sucking you dry. And they're obviously trying to suck you dry. So, and don't take that literally. Because I know some people who say, Jay, they ain't sucking on me. You know, yeah, they are treating you like the good ship lollipop. So, you know, you have to look at that too. You have to keep that in mind. If you want good VRM cooling, make sure it has a heat sink on it. Make sure it's at least a 12 phase, at least a 12 plus 2. I mean, if you get a 16 plus 2, then you're golden. That way your power supply is not hurting. Your motherboard's not hurting. You're not killing your GPU. You're not killing your RAM, your system RAM. And, you know, these are things that you're not killing. It works all together. So, save yourself the 20 bucks and find something better. So, and let's go for the finally part. Let's go for the finally part of this video. And you guys are going to wonder, well, Jay, what do you got finally? Well, let's go to the action screen and see what I got cooking. Okay, finally, RGB fans with no static pressure. These are the silent killers of airflow. They look great, guys, but they move almost no air through the mesh panel or the radiator. Builders keep overheating their systems because they bought fans for aesthetics instead of the performance. If your case temps are high, this is probably why. Because if you don't shop for the right fans, now I got these fans right here, the DS fans. That's not a bad price for a 6-pack of those fans. You know, I mean, I have them in my PC. I have never had a problem with them. They move some air too. So I always looking to see what's coming in there. So always look and see what you're going to get in the case. I mean, some places it'll say, you know, well, specifications or something like that. So you get a 6-pack of fans, multicolored, RPM speed 1200. Ooh, that's an ouch. It's only moving 30 CFM. I don't know. They must have changed this up because they had really good fans back then. So I guess they didn't now. So that kind of scratches that from what we're talking about. Now, let's go back into the beginning again. So I don't know about these Thermalright fans. Some people tell me they don't like them. So they got the 7-pack of these fans. They look like Interlink. I don't know Asia Horse Matrix. No idea. Let's see. Let's see. This is 1800. For 13 bucks, you get Thermalright. 1500. Now, see, I'm recommending anything over 2400 RPM to be a good fan. 2000, you might be able to get away with that, but there's only 3 fans there. So, let's see, 2000 RPM. Like I said, close, but not really that close. Okay, so let me minimize this. Back to the main screen we go there, guys. Final conclusion. We looked through some parts today. I made some of my judgment calls basically upon my experience with some of the stuff. But I'm going to tell you, you choose the wrong parts, you get crappy performance. You choose the good parts, you get better performance. But it's what you're choosing for your parts, for your PC. That's what matters. Me, I chose mine very carefully. I went and did my research. That's the key word, research, on all the parts that I have in these PCs right here. This one right here, and the one that's you guys can't see. It's right behind, it's where the camera is. So, but specifically chosen because I knew the performance of how this was going to be built. I built my PCs on performance. So I know this one will perform well, and I know this one will perform well. And hopefully when you pick your parts too, and you do your research very carefully before you buy, then you'll see the difference of picking the right parts than picking the wrong parts. Spending more money instead of spending less money. But that's your decision. If you want more aesthetics, you're going to pay more money for aesthetics. If you want, let's say you want more performance, you're going to pay for more performance. If you want an overall system that has both, do your research, do your homework, and see what best worked for you, what you're going to use the PC for. That's the key trick. What you use the PC for is what matters. Let's say you use it for all business, you're not going to need high-end parts. If you do it for gaming only, then you're going to need a very good system. But you can always choose entry-level parts and still have a great gaming PC, still regardless. But anyway, guys, that's what I got for you today. And hopefully you enjoyed everything. I enjoyed everything with you guys as well. And if this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Don't forget about the notification bell so you know when I post the next video or live stream. Guys, subscribe today. It helps the channel out. Until the next time, in the next video, you know what it is, and we'll see you on the next one.
Take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.